Hey, it's me again. Doing another 10-minute run today. No hill this time. So it's gonna be a piece of cake, basically. Um, been getting pretty good numbers on my blood. Had 120 last 2 nights. Even snuck in a couple handfuls of popcorn. I know. But doing pretty good. Um, oh, just I'm not making this channel to talk about stuff that's going on in the news, but Jesus, just things are just really terrible right now. So, um, today, oh, I don't know. Everything I want to talk about seems meaningless. Like, just doesn't seem to matter. There's so many more important things happening in the world right now. And I'm mad, I'm upset. I'm upset that it's happening. I'm upset there's a portion of people who are glad it's happening, who think it's a good thing. And I'm upset at the people who don't think it's a good thing, but also stood by and let us get where we're at right now. I grew up, in America. As an American, born in San Francisco, grew up in the Bay Area, moved to Sacramento. And as a kid, I always grew up thinking, we're all American. At the end of the day, we'll have our differences, and yeah, there'll be some guys that just hate other people. But that's sort of like, this is what I believed growing up. That's sort of something that was in the past. And my generation, or the generation that's coming up, we're looking past all that. We're seeing beyond the old disagreements. But apparently we're not. I remember watching like movies where there was an existential threat to humanity. Something came by that was more powerful than any person, like Zod from Superman, or the aliens in Independence Day. And no matter how much you hated the guy next to you who cut you off in traffic, or maybe he came from a different neighborhood, you look past that. You look past that and you united against this one central threat that was threatening to tear apart our country and the whole world. Because that's another thing, is that threats only came here because we led the world. We were the place that people looked at for America figured out. There's a scene in that movie, Independence Day, where they figure out how to bring down the shields on the aliens, and they're going to mount one big attack worldwide. And they're using Morse code to communicate to everybody. They're trying to tell everybody, hey, this is how you can take down the aliens. And there's this scene where there's like these pilots, and they're like in the desert, like near Egypt or something. And they're like, hey, it's the Americans. They're messaging everybody in Morse code. They finally figured out a way to take down the aliens. And one goes something like, oh, it's about time. Because everyone was waiting, because they knew no matter what, that America had their back because we were the good guys. We were always the good guys. We protected our allies. And kind of a trope of these movies where we protect you even if you weren't our allies because we were the good guys. And like Superman, love us or hate us, we're going to try to do the right thing. And obviously that was super naive and super immature of me to think about the kid. And I wanted to believe that. I wanted to believe that one day we'd put aside our differences and hand in hand head off into space and explore new worlds and new civilizations. Boldly go where no man has gone before. But I don't even know if we're going to make it past a century the way we're going. One thing that's kept me going through these times where I felt sad is the little glimmer of hope. I've always been an underdog guy. You know, like the underdog will always come up on top if his cause is righteous. And I keep seeing these pockets of people who, even though people around them are getting murdered, they are continuing to fight, continuing to march, continuing to do what they know is right against impossible odds. Because how are you going to stand up against the U.S. military? How are you going to stand up against the U.S. government? But if you do, the hope is that those among them who see you as not your enemy, their enemy, but as your neighbor, your friend, your child, your father, your cousin, that they'll put down their gun and they'll join with you to fight for what's right. You know, right now, this is a scary time. I kind of feel like we're at a crossroads and that we've already gone the wrong way, but there's still time to scrape through like the middle part, which is bushes and weeds and maybe even chain link fence, and still cross over the right side. But it's going to take heroes. It's literally going to take heroes to do it. Do I think someone's a hero because he got shot to death? No, of course not. I'm sure they wouldn't think that either. I'm sure that person would prefer to be alive. And sometimes heroes even aren't who they are. They're who we need them to be. In their memories, in our darkest hours. We will draw strength not from a person, but from an idea of good. And if you believe in God, you hope that God's on your side because you're doing what's right. Anyway, there's a long way to say, hey, I'm not talking about politics on this channel. And I'm not. I'm talking about right and wrong. I'm talking about good and evil. I'm talking about yes and no. Will I stand back and watch the things happen to my friends and my neighbors and my society? Or will I say no? I'm going to say no. Wherever you are, I hope you're okay. Whoever you are, I hope you're okay. No matter what you believe, I love you. And I want you to have a good life. And I want your family to have a good life. Anyway, it's been 10 minutes. Have a good night.